Welcome back to the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen. I am making banana bread. Now, banana bread showed up in our histories in the American cookbooks about the 1930s, so it's been around for almost 100 years here in the United States. I'm not sure about other countries, but that's what that is. I'm going to get right to it and start with our flour. Of course, I've just got unbleached white flour. I've got my packed brown sugar. This is a light brown sugar, and you can use honey. And the only reason I don't use honey is because it makes the bread stickier, and this is my kids' favorite dish, and they get so incredibly messy. So I'll switch to honey when they're a little bit older and a little bit cleaner eating. This is our baking soda and salt. So we just want to get these dry ingredients mixed together. Okay, I'm going to take my butter. This is room temperature, 1/2 cup, which is one stick of butter. I'm going to take my bananas. This is 4, and they're pretty large bananas. If it's just shy of 2 cups or if it's just a little bit over, don't waste your bananas. Just use what you have. So let's just mix this and cream it together. If your butter's room temperature, this should go really quickly, especially if you've already creamed your bananas, which I have. Okay. Should be good. All right, I'm gonna take my eggs and plop them in. I'm just gonna break the yolks. And I just want all of my ingredients to be well blended, which is why I do them step by step instead of all at once, because it just gives me a little more warm fuzzy feeling that it is well mixed. This is our vanilla extract. I'm using the rum vanilla extract today. It'll have a little bolder flavor than the vodka one we've made. Link to that recipe will be down in the description. And then I'm gonna put in my starter. This is 3/4 cup of my starter. This is discard. So when I fed my starter, this is what would have been thrown away. So I don't know why we call it discard if we're gonna use it, but until I think of a better term for it, we're gonna call it the sourdough discard. So link to the sourdough starter recipe will also be down below. And we'll mix that in. And the last thing I have to put in this is sour cream. And you can use a plain yogurt or you can use sour cream of any kind. This makes it so moist. Gives a lovely flavor to your banana bread too. You can use plain Greek yogurt. It doesn't have to be standard yogurt. Okay, we'll wipe this off and get it mixed in there. So I've got a baking pan, a bread pan, and I've already greased it, so you'll need to have that prepped, and you'll need to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. So the last thing I need to do here is get my bananas and butter mixed in here, and you can mix it all in one bowl. You don't have to do the bananas and the butter and the flour all separately. I just do it because I want the butter to be pretty well broken down, and if you do it in the flour, there's a chance it'll kind of get lumpy instead of nice and smooth. So it's up to you. If you want one less dish to do, then go ahead and do it all in one bowl. I encourage you to do it the way you want. All right. Then the other ingredient that I don't have here on purpose is nuts. You can use walnuts, you can use pecans. They're both really good in this dish. However, my children have been asking me for about 2 weeks for banana bread, and none of them like the nuts in it. And so if I put the nuts in it, they're gonna be really upset with me and disappointed. But if you're gonna put in the nuts, what you would do is finish mixing all of this together so that it's well blended. It's not a yeast bread where you need to knead it at all. You're just gonna get all the ingredients well mixed, and then you would fold in your nuts. So what that means is you would just pour in your nuts and then fold them in like this. Just to get them mixed in, you don't need to beat anything. Kind of get it evenly mixed. This is already ready to go in the pan. Banana bread is so quick. So I'm gonna get this out of my way. I'm gonna take my bread pan and I'm gonna pour this in. And if you find that you want muffins, that's fine. You just adjust your baking time, and I'll put the baking time for muffins down in the description as well. But my pre-greased pan, you can use butter. If you just rub a cold stick of butter all over the pan, that'll work. You can dust a little flour in there. I use a cooking spray. You can use avocado oil, you can use canola spray if you really want to, olive oil. Olive oil can burn and make it a little bitter though, so I caution against it if that's what you have. I would go more towards the butter than the olive oil. There we go. So this is ready to go in our oven. 60 minutes. We're gonna check it at about 55 minutes and see how it's doing. We're gonna use the toothpick test to stick it in at about 55 minutes. If it comes up clean, your bread's good to go. If not, we're gonna leave it in for another 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much stuff is on there. Our sourdough banana bread is out of the oven and smelling wonderful. You'll notice it did get a little brown on the top. I had to add about 10 more minutes to it to make sure it was done on the inside. This particular oven, because of it's smaller, the burner is closer to our items that we're baking on the top and the bottom, so I'm still trying to work out that balance between making sure everything's cooked and the tops and bottoms being a little overcooked. So I'm working on that. I may end up replacing this oven. We'll see. I'm gonna give it some tries. I'm gonna give it some chances to see what we can work out. In the meantime, it's just superficial. It's not a big deal. So we're gonna go ahead, let it cool off for a few hours. My kids are gonna be so happy to eat this. If you liked today's episode, please click that like button. If you enjoy this sort of content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Recipe and directions are down below in the description. If you'd like to see us make something, let us know what it is in the comments. From our kitchen to yours, let's make food from food.